What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Logan, aka the Army Vet Trucker. If it's your first time here, I am an extra board line haul truck driver for ABF Freight. Today is Thursday, April 17th, and we are here at my home terminal in Dallas, and we are about to head out. I'm just going to document here real quick that we did our pre-trip, which we did. It's about, hold on, there we go. Pre-trip. It's about 9:30 in the morning here in Dallas. We got called at the 3 a.m. call block this morning for hold on here, I'm just hitting depart so I can get the road. Boom. Good to go. Alright, like I was saying, we got called at the 3 a.m. call block this morning for a 6:30 a.m. Pull time, show time, whatever you want to call it. And we got here and the outbound set was not ready. So like I've said in the past on these videos, it's not too complicated here at ABF. Whenever the outbound set is not ready, we get paid for our wait time. There's a lounge in there for road drivers, and we just kick our feet up, punch the clock, and sit and wait. And so I sat and wait for about 2.5 hours this morning. It's 9:30 right now. Also had to go to the shop. There was a busted electrical connector on this lead box I got. But anywho's, yeah, we're going to Laredo today from Dallas, and then I'm doing a VIA or a drop and hook, whatever you want to call it, in San Antonio. I've got I believe it's my lead box that's going to Laredo, and then a rear box going to San Antonio. So we're going to hold on to that front box and then drop that rear one in San Antonio, and then they'll give us another one, either an empty or a loaded trailer going down to Laredo in San Antonio. But anyways, with all that being said, let's get to the elephant in the room. I'm back. You know, for those of you that have been pretty avid viewers of my channel, you've known that I've been gone for a while, over a year. And for you guys that have watched my previous videos, you know why. I am in the National Guard, and I went down to the border here in Texas. We have a state military mission down at the Mexico-Texas border where we are basically just helping out, take care of everything that's going on down there. And so yeah, I was down there for a little over a year, and just now I'm getting back into it. I've been back to work for about a little over a month now, maybe 4, 5, or 6 weeks, something like that. It's been more than a month, so probably more like 5 or 6 weeks I've been back to work. And things have been okay, I guess. It was kind of odd. I went back to work on a Friday, immediately got called out that Friday, and let's see, where did I go? I did I think a San Antonio turn or something, and then that Saturday I got called out to go to Albuquerque, and then Albuquerque sent me to Salt Lake City, and then Salt Lake then sent me back to Albuquerque, and then back to Dallas. So that was a 4-day affair. And you know, doing that run right there, 4 days, and Albuquerque to Salt Lake and then back is, you know, I mean, what, that's like 2,600 miles or something in 4 days, which is a pretty dang good week. And so I was thinking, man, we're about to get busy. And then ever since then, it's been kind of back to normal, I guess. Back to the way it was. For you guys that haven't watched the channel or watched my previous videos, one of the big pros of me going down to the border with the National Guard was, since it's military leave, military orders, my seniority gets held at ABF. I don't lose my job or anything. They have to hold my job while I'm serving the country, you know, in the state. So I went down there trying to build some seniority on the board here, and because they were only calling me to work like once or twice a week, you know, back in October of 2024, or excuse me, I guess it would have been October 2023, they were only calling me to work, you know, once or twice a week, and that was only getting me, you know, 1,000 miles or less a week, and that wasn't quite, you know, covering the bills. So it was time to make a move, and that's what I decided to do based on a lot of y'all's feedback, and you know, that seemed to be the best move at the time. But now that I'm back, every week since then I've been kind of like only getting like 1,000, 1,500 miles a week. Like right now, this week, today is Thursday, and this is the first time this week I've gone to work. I did not work this past weekend because I had drill with the National Guard. I've talked about that in the past. It kind of bites me in the butt a little bit, having drill on the weekends, because that's typically whenever us low seniority drivers are busiest. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's when we get our money. And so, since before this weekend, I don't think I worked over a week. I think last time I worked with ABF here was Wednesday of last week. So, yeah, not too great. But I'm not too quick to jump to a conclusion or anything. I'm just happy to be back, and I'm also happy to be alive. That's another thing that's pretty new development that kind of got me back here off the state border mission. I was already going to be coming back, planned to come back, but I was actually on my way. A little bit of context here. I'll try not to get too long-winded, but down when you're on the military border mission, it's state funded and everything. So one of the rules that they came up with being down there was we get to come back to our home of record, which for me is Fort Worth, once a month. Basically, you get a 4-day pass is what they call it, and they give you travel days, so it really turns into 6 days. But anywho, you get a long weekend or whatever you want to call it every month. And so in January, I took my what do you call it, my long weekend, my pass, on New Year's Eve was my travel day, leaving to come back to Fort Worth. So I was leaving Eagle Pass, Texas, coming back up to Fort Worth on New Year's Eve. And I was driving my personal vehicle, my pickup truck, and I was coming through Waco, and I don't remember a thing. I have no memory of how it happened or what exactly was going on, but I was able to put kind of together, in a nutshell, what happened based on everything after the fact. But basically, I was driving through Waco, and a brake drum, or at least half of a brake drum from one of these big trucks, had separated somehow. And like I said, I don't really remember exactly how it all happened, all the details. I don't remember if it was if it came off of a truck that was in front of me, or if somebody else, maybe it was sitting on the shoulder and somebody else kicked it up. But one way or another, a brake drum off of a big semi truck got kicked up in the air, and it hit the hood of my truck, my pickup, and then went through the windshield and hit my steering wheel, and then hit me square in the face. So it messed me up too. It was a pretty big thing. And I mean, for those of you guys that know, a brake drum on a semi is not a small, by any means, piece of metal. I'd say, for those of y'all that don't know, a brake drum on a semi is probably, I'd say, what do you guys think? 80 pounds, 100 pounds, something like that, maybe 75, something like that. But it was half of it, and it was broken. And so I'd say it was about a 40-pound chunk of steel just came through my windshield, hit me straight in the face. People don't survive that type of thing. That's not something that sounds like something that somebody would make up. But I swear to you, if you saw my face right now, I've got some battle scars from it. So you'd know I wasn't making it up. So yeah, that thing bent my steering wheel in half, and I think I credit my steering wheel for probably saving my life there. It took a lot of that impact off my face. It was hitting that steering wheel first. And then, so after the fact, I don't remember, like I said, anything that happened, but I'm, blessed to have been able to get off the road without running into anything else that made the situation worse. I ended up in the ditch in Waco. If you guys know, there's the frontage roads that follow the highway, and I basically ended up in the ditch in front of the Chick-fil-A on the north side by the loop in Waco. And the truck, I was on the I-35 when it happened, by the way, and so somehow the truck basically found its way off the highway, took an exit or went over the median or something, and then wound up driving along the frontage road for about a mile before I wound up just in the ditch. And it's a miracle I didn't hit a concrete pillar of a bridge or another car or kill somebody else or something along those means. It's just a miracle of multiple different points of how it wound up. But being on New Year's Eve, everybody just kind of why is this guy just randomly crash into the ditch like this? There was no traffic. It was in the evening, and You know, it was just weird. So everybody just assumed I was drunk or something. So the first guy that came out to check on me, I got my phone and called my wife, and you know, he was telling my wife that, oh yeah, your husband's out here drunk, crashed into the ditch. And obviously she knew. I just left right after getting off work in Eagle Pass, came straight through going up to Fort Worth. So I'd just gotten off work. I hadn't drank anything or done any drugs or anything like that. So I was sober when it happened. I just had, you know, traumatic brain injury, so understandable. Anyways, so that's what everybody just assumed, and of course the same guy that told my wife that's the same guy that intercepted the first police officer. I had done a public records request and got the police body camera footage of the investigation, and of course the same guy that calls my wife, freaking clown, intercepts the cop, the first police officer on the scene, and is like, yeah, this guy was on his phone, drunk, and this and that, crashed into the ditch. And so that's the first thing the cop hears when he gets on scene, is that I was drinking. And you know, this guy doesn't know. He's just a clown that was sitting there in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru waiting for his sandwich. So anyways, they wound up doing their investigation, and they're investigating me, and I'm giving all sorts of gibberish answers because I'm incoherent. And they wound up finding in the truck after I leave in the ambulance that brake drum piece of steel, and they were looking around the truck because that's that same clown was saying that something must have went through the windshield that came off my truck whenever I was going off the road, and that's why I was all bloody, was because my windshield was broken, and they thought maybe just glass shards or something, because it was dark, you couldn't tell. But as soon as the EMTs got there and got their big lights shining on me, they could tell. Like I'll spare you guys the details, and I'll put some pictures in here too, so y'all can see, you know, a little bit. But I'm not going to show anything too graphic here to keep it family friendly. But they could tell I wasn't good. They put me in a neck brace and got me out of there pretty quick. But the police officers pretty much figured it out. You know, I wasn't. You could see it all in the accident report that, you know, obviously I wasn't drinking or anything. They did the toxicology at the hospital. So, anywho, I get to Waco Hospital, and I guess they didn't have the proper trauma level that I needed, and so they transferred me to Temple, and that's where I spent about 2 weeks in Temple in the ICU, getting some skull reconstruction done, plastic surgery, and I had to get some laser work done to my left eye, because that's right where it hit, was right above my left eye. And yeah, so I was off work for about 3 months, and they wound up releasing me from the border mission medically, and then I reported back to work, and I went and passed a DOT physical and all that, and by the grace of God, or whatever, however your beliefs are, by the grace of whoever, you know, my eyesight hasn't been too severely affected. You know, it's not the same as it was before, but I tested out above 20/40, which is, you know, good to go with no restrictions. So I'm back to work now, and I feel fine. I feel great, luckily, and we're just kind of back at it. So anywho's, I'm going to get driving down the road here. I've yabbed on long enough, and I'm going to get going down to San Antonio, and I will catch you guys when we get there. Alrighty, and just like that, here we are in San Antonio. Actually already got swapped around here, and since it's during the day on Thursday, all their city guys are actually here. And since I had kind of a weird deal, I wasn't just dropping and hooking. Most of the time I come through San Antonio, I'll bring in a set, drop it, and then take out a different complete set. And if that's the case, I do the work myself. But in this case, the set that I brought in had to get broken and reconfigured. So that's their work. And so we let them to it. But now we're all set here. And let's see, actually. Okay, I still need fuel. Yeah, this tractor must have got slid into between the cracks and got stuck with me outbound without getting fuel. But nothing that thing right there can't solve. Fuel pump. So I'm just gonna give these trailers some air and do a quick walk around, make sure all my lights, make sure I don't got any air leaks. I believe I should have the same. I know the front box is the same, 316, yep. And then let's see, my rear box will be 89275. Yep, that's the one. These are both going down to Laredo. I believe I should have the same gear. 73693. Yep. Alright, 275. Make sure I didn't lose any ABS while we're just good. And then let's see about this rear box. Good. Yeah, I was saying that rear box might have got left behind. Or that tractor might have got left out when it was in the yard. Sometimes that happens. But anyways, they since they're on the job here, I just kind of prop my feet up in there and let them do their thing. So we know this is all good. We just brought this in. I'm just gonna squeeze my way up here to the fuel pump. I normally like to fuel just the tractor only, and that will come on now. Dang idle shut down. Look at this stuff. You gonna be able to start it back up? There we go. Alrighty. Signed out of my tractor because yard man took this tractor to go back there and do yard work with it, so I didn't want to get tripped into yard move. Well, I didn't want it to get kicked into driving while I was sitting there on break, because then that would have messed up my break, my 30-minute. So now we're gonna do yard move and fuel. Okay, I think we're good to go with the brake, yeah. So I'm gonna try to swivel around here and then get over there by that fuel pump close enough. If I can get close enough, I can fuel. It's a one-sided fuel pump, but the hose is long enough to get to the other side of the tractor if I can get close enough. You know, I don't want to get myself in a pickle here. That should be good. Yeah, it should be good. On duty. Fuel. But anyways, guys, I'll catch up with y'all here in a minute. Y'all have seen this all before, nothing new. I'm just gonna fuel up, get topped off, and hit the road down to San Antonio. I'll catch up with y'all here in a few minutes. Alrighty, just like that, here we are down in Laredo. We got down here pretty easily. Wasn't too complicated of a drive down here. A lot better than it was on 35 earlier. Man, that was a freaking mess. And then this lead box, this is the one that we brought from Dallas that we did some yard work in San Antonio. I mean, I didn't. The city guys did there, and I don't know if it's the way it's loaded or if it's this tractor, but man, it has been all over the place. Like, it has been hard to keep it on the road, to be honest. Sometimes these Macs, steering is a little wonky on them. I was listening to an article, some news whatever you want to call it, news outlet was talking about the new Macs that they're coming out with. They're, I guess, dropping off the Anthem, which is what these are. Used to, before my time with ABF, I mean, I guess a little bit of my time when I was in training, we had 10-speed Macs, and those were the older ones, and those were Pinnacles. And then ABF moved to the Anthems whenever these came out. We've been using the Anthems for, like since like 2019 or 2020 or something. And they've been pretty good. I mean, I like the way the cab is set up. It's all pretty natural. You can reach everything. The Freightliners, you kind of have to like bend over a little bit to adjust your mirrors and stuff. The steering has been my main complaint on these Macs. It's just, I don't know what it is about them. Maybe it's just old school truck steering. The Freightliners have like a newer system that, those Freightliners, man, they freaking drive like a car. It's hard to, I know that's like a plastic truck. They're all plastic now, but if you guys have driven them, you know what I mean. It's like night and day. But I'm just gonna whip in right here and block the walkway for a little bit. I'm just gonna walk in and punch the clock, and then we're heading to the hotel here, the good old sure stay in Laredo. But anyways, they announced the new Mac Pioneer, and it's been kind of interesting because since I've been gone, they've done 2 more orders. This here is one of the newer, I guess the newest trucks that we have in the fleet. These are 14 series, so these are, I believe, 2025 year model Macs and Anthems. And we've started to get in 2026 year model trucks and I guess Mac didn't fill the order for these Anthems, and we didn't really know why. And so we were getting more Freightliners this year, which have started to trickle in. They're going to be 15 numbered units, which I think are 2026 year model trucks, and they'll be all Freightliners. And we're actually getting some new twin screws, which will be interesting to see those coming in. We've been rolling with the old twin screws. Anyways, long story short, we'll be seeing some interesting new Macs. Look up the Mac Pioneer if you're interested. It looks like a pretty sleek truck. I don't know what it'll look like the way ABF specs it out, because, you know what I mean, all the videos on YouTube show always the, you know, top of the line touchscreens and cameras and all sorts of stuff, and that's not what ABF's gonna buy. But anyways, it's kind of a more boring video. Sorry about that, guys. It's more of me just chiming back in, letting you know I'm still alive and I'm still working with ABF and I'm still breathing, which is a blessing. So I'm here, I'm working, and I'm on the road, and if you guys see me, let me know. And then also with the YouTube channel, guys, I really don't know where I'm going with this. I know my content can kind of get a little boring and repetitive, but if you guys let me know in the comments or my email down below, what do you guys want to see? I'm down for whatever. If you guys want me to do another questions and answers type thing, if you want me to update some of my older videos, some of my videos, man, are going on 2-3 years old now. So if you want to see any update videos on some of the stuff I've talked about in the past, let me know, and I'll be happy to either, you know, talk about it either via email in a comment, or I'll make a video about it. Doesn't bother me a bit. I'm here for you guys. It's what I like to do, is help y'all out. It's not really for the money or anything like that. So anywho, I'm gonna go in the office here, punch the clock, and then I'm gonna get over to the hotel and go to bed, and then we'll see what they have for us tomorrow. But this is where I'm gonna leave you guys. You guys know the drill. If you like the video, make sure you smash that like button. If you are liking the type of content I'm making, want to see more of it in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free to you, and it means a lot to me. And last but not least, leave a comment below if you have any questions, feedback, or concerns, input. Any advice is appreciated. And if you want to talk on a more one-on-one basis, my email is always listed in the description below. With all that being said, guys, it's been a great day, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.